Hello dear students and welcome to my channel. Today we shall study about subject and predicate. Now, what do we understand by subject and what do we understand by predicate? Before that, we need to understand what is a sentence. A sentence, students, is a group of words, a collection of words which make sense. Now, any group of words will not be called a sentence. Why? Because that sentence has to be arranged in such a way that it makes sense, that we can understand what the sentence is trying to convey. Now, every sentence must have a subject and a verb. What do you understand by subject and what do you understand by verb? Subject is that part of the sentence about whom we are talking about, and verb tells us what that subject is doing. The action which is being taken by the subject is determined by your verb. Next, understanding what is a sentence, what is a subject in the sentence, and what is the verb in the sentence, we divide a sentence into two parts. One is your subject and the other is your predicate. Now, read these sentences for better understanding. First, children are donating money for earthquake victims. Now, in this statement, students, first you will question what is the subject, about whom are we talking about. Here, your subject is children. Okay, now next, we will try and understand what that subject is doing. That will determine the predicate part of the sentence. Now, before going over to predicate part of the sentence, one very important thing that you need to keep in mind is that the predicate part of the sentence always has the verb in it. Now, once we understand that the predicate part of the sentence contains the action word or the verb, then it is easy to identify the predicate part of the sentence. So, in the first sentence, children are donating money for earthquakes. The subject is your children about whom we are talking, and the action which the children are donating money. So, that part of the sentence which has the verb denoting what action is being done by the subject is the predicate part of the sentence. So, are donating money for earthquake victims becomes your predicate part of the sentence. Next, number two, we brought a jacket. If you are asked to divide the sentence into subject and predicate, what is the first thing you need to identify? The subject. What is the subject about whom we are going to talk about? What is the subject doing? So the subject here is we. And what is the subject doing? Brought a jacket. Why are we identifying brought a jacket as the predicate? Because thus this part of the sentence has your action word brought. That means the verb is present in the predicate part of the sentence, brought a jacket, and your verb is brought. So, we is your subject, brought a jacket is your predicate. Number three, the water in that jug was hot. Now, subject, students, need not necessarily be a single word. It can be more than one word or several words. So, in this sentence, what are we talking about? We are talking about the water in that jug. So, this part of the sentence becomes your subject, and was hot becomes your predicate. Now, was is a form of your verb which is denoting that the water in that jug was hot. So, was is your verb which talks about in the past tense. So, was hot is the predicate part of the sentence. Now, the subject is the person or thing that you are talking about in the sentence. As I told you, predicate is the part that gives us more information about the subject. Tip of the day, the subject may be made up of one word or several words, and the verb is always a part of the predicate because it tells us about the actions of the subject. Next, we will try to understand with more examples subject and predicate. Now, here students see most of the children like to read comics. How do we differentiate which is the subject and which is the predicate? Subject is most of the children about whom we are talking about. Like to read comics because like is your verb. Like to read is your verb here. And it is telling us what most of the children, what the subject part is doing. So like to read comics becomes your predicate. Children's Day is celebrated on 14th November. What is our subject here? About what are we talking? We are talking about Children's Day. Is celebrated on 14th November is a predicate because celebrated is your verb which is present in the predicate part of the sentence. I can't do it. What is the subject about whom are we talking about? I can't do it, cannot do it. So cannot do it is your predicate part of the sentence because it has the verb in it. One of my friends is unwell. One of my friends, whom are we talking about? One of my friends is unwell. Is, am, and are verb forms of be. So, is unwell is the predicate which has the verb is in it. Now let us do a worksheet. Circle the subject and underline the predicate in the following sentences. There are a few sentences which are given. You need to circle the subject and underline the predicate. So I have highlighted the subjects in yellow and highlighted the predicate part in purple. So, first one, I am grateful to you. What do we need to do, students, first in such kind of subject and predicate questions? Identify the subject about what or whom are we talking about. So, the subject is I. Am grateful to you is that part of the sentence which has the verb am. Am is a verb form of be. Is, am, and are verb forms of be. So because this part of the sentence has the verb am, grateful to you, so it becomes the predicate. Two, a lot of people have their own vehicles. A lot of people is your subject about whom we are talking. Have their own vehicles becomes a predicate because have is a verb. Now, in my channel, students, you will have two videos which I will link in this video. One is verb forms of be, and the other is how we differentiate between has and have. Okay, please go through those two worksheet videos also for clearer understanding. Next, pink and blue are my favorite colors. What are we talking about? We are talking about the colors pink and blue. So pink and blue becomes our subject. Are my favorite colors. Now the word is, am, and are wherever they are present in any sentence. That means it is the verb present. So are my favorite colors. Why are and why not is? Because pink and blue are two colors, more than one, plural. So are is a plural verb. Subject verb agreement says that plural subjects are followed by plural verbs. Therefore, pink and blue are my favorite colors, and pink and blue is the subject, and are my favorite colors is the predicate. Next, the water in this river is polluted. What are we talking about? The water in this river. So that becomes your subject. Is polluted. What is polluted? What information is being given to us about whom? About the water in this river. So the information given about the subject is the predicate part of the sentence which contains the verb is. So is present, is polluted. Is again a verb form of be which talks about in the present tense for the sentence. Is, am, and are the verb forms of be, verb in the present tense. We get wool from sheep. We is your subject about whom we are talking about. Get wool from sheep is a predicate because the verb get is present here. Next, Janvi, Yagya, and Akshaj came to meet us yesterday. Janvi, Yagya, and Akshaj are the people whom we are talking about. So they are our subject. Came to meet us yesterday. Meet us is the verb here. So came to meet us yesterday becomes the predicate part of the sentence. The spider spun the web. Whom are we talking about? We are talking about the spider. What did the spider do? The spider spun the web. Spinning the web, and here it becomes spun the web. So spun is the verb. The acrobat did amazing rope tricks. The acrobat, whom are we talking about? The acrobat. So, what did the acrobat do? The acrobat did amazing rope tricks. So, did is your verb, and because it is present in the second part of the sentence, that part becomes your predicate. Did amazing rope tricks is your predicate, which has the verb did. Snow will fall here. What are we talking about? What is our subject? Snow will fall here becomes a predicate because it has the verb fall. A careless mistake led to the fire in the factory. What are we talking about? We are talking about a careless mistake, which is our subject. What happened to that subject? It led to the fire in the factory. A careless mistake led to the fire in the factory. So, careless mistake subject led to the fire in the factory is your predicate, which has the verb led. Albert Einstein was a famous scientist. Whom are we talking about? What is our subject? Albert Einstein was a famous scientist. Was a famous scientist becomes your predicate, which has the verb was. Shweta and I are planning to watch a movie. Shweta and I are the subject about whom we are talking about. Are planning to watch a movie is the predicate part of the sentence because it has the verb are planning. So this is how you will do subject and predicate differentiation in any statement or subject which is given to you. Now, the next exercise is supply suitable subjects to complete the sentences. The predicate part of the sentence is given. You have to give a suitable subject. Dash will help the poor. Now, you can add we, they, or whatever subject you want to mention. So I have written here, my parents will help the poor. You can give any subject that you want. Dash are selling vegetables. The farmers are selling vegetables. Now, students, all these predicate parts have the verbs. Let me first identify the verbs for you in these predicates. Will help is your verb. Are selling is your verb. Is in the third sentence is your verb. Cuts and styles is the verb. Is the verb in is celebrated on 15th August. Is the verb in is my favorite sweet. Taught is the verb in taught us English last year. Flew is the verb in flew high in the sky. Is a famous actor. Is the verb which is a verb form of be in the present tense. Is again the verb in is the day after Wednesday because again this is the verb form of be. Are reptiles has got the verb are, which is again a verb form of be in the used for plural subjects in the present tense. Has three sides, the verb is has. So all these predicates have the verb, so they are predicates. So before this, the question is supply suitable subjects. For these, I have given you certain answers. You can use your own subjects and fill in the blanks too. Now, supply suitable predicates and complete the sentence. First, the previous exercise was predicate was given, we had to write the subject. In this, the subject is given, we have to write the predicate. Now, when we write the predicate, student, what is the main thing to be kept in mind? That we are talking about what action the subject in the sentence is doing. So that means the predicate part should have a verb. It should have an action word. So depending on that, you will fill in the suitable predicates and complete the sentences. I have given you a few answers. You can write answers on your own also. Like, for example, my mother's name dash. My grandmother's name is Radha. What is the verb here? Is. The earth is the subject. Is our planet is the predicate. What is the verb here? Is. All the apples on the tree are ripe. What is the verb here? Are. We should always help the needy. What is the verb in the predicate part? Help the needy? Help. Most of the rooms in my home are big. What is the verb in are big predicate? Are. The soldiers are very brave. Are very brave is the predicate which I have given. What is the verb? Are. Virat Kohli is the captain of the Indian team. Is your verb. Teachers' Day is celebrated on 5th September. Verb is celebrated. My friends and I play in the park. My friends and I. Now, this sentence is very important. I will just give you a tip over here. This sentence has got a compound subject because it has got friends and I. That means it has got two nouns. It has got a noun and it has also got a pronoun. Now, subject verb agreement, students, which I have separate video on subject verb agreement. Now, why I have you written play and not plays? My friends and I. Now, these are two subjects, but subject verb agreement says that the subject which is closest to the verb will follow the rule. So, what is the subject which is closer to the verb? I. I is singular, so it will be followed by a singular verb play. My friends and I play in the park. A lot of people exercise in the park. Exercise is your verb. The Taj Mahal is in Agra. Is your verb. A square has four sides. Has is your verb. So with this, we have understood what is subject and predicate, how to identify a subject and how to identify a predicate. Now, I will link 2, 3 videos and you can also go to my channel's playlist and go through all the English grammar concepts. There are a lot of videos on English grammar and you can practice and understand for better knowledge. Now, if you like my channel, please like, share and subscribe. Keep the notification button on so that when I post a new video, you are notified about it. Any doubts, please let me know in the please let me know in the comment section, and let me know also what other topics you would like me to make videos on for your reading. Please like, share and subscribe, students. Thank you.